Right now, we're going to talk to Ari Schulman, who is an eyewitness to this crash. Ari, you were driving there last night. Tell us exactly where you were and what you saw.
So I was on the George Washington National Parkway, which is a highway that runs north-south. It runs from downtown DC to Alexandria, which is where I live. So I was just driving home for the evening. And the highway runs parallel to the flight path, the landing path for the planes. So you can see all of these planes lined up to land, and I always look at them when I'm driving home. It's a really interesting sight. You can see them very clearly and very far out into the distance. So I was looking at the planes. The airport was off to my left side. And based on the distance of the planes, I thought there might be one off to my left. So I looked, and there was. I saw what looked like a sort of a normal-sized passenger jet on the smaller end coming into land. It was pretty low above the water. It looked like it was going to be going onto the runway in maybe 5 or 10 seconds. And everything looked fine with it. It was level wings, level flight, and I didn't see anything else around it. It just looked like a normal plane. So I looked at it for just a moment, and I looked back at the roadway because I was driving, and then I looked back again to get another look, and it was completely different the second time, about 3 seconds later. The plane was banked all the way to its right side. I could see the belly, the underside of it. It was lit up a very bright yellow, and there was a stream of sparks underneath the plane. I didn't know what was going on. I could not see any sort of helicopter or anything it had collided with. My initial thought when I saw it was that it was banking sharply, that this was something the pilots had done to avoid, maybe avoid a collision or avoid something. And that was all I could see. I saw that sharp bank. It was clearly not supposed to be in that position.
Excuse me, you didn't hear any kind of collision?
Yeah. I didn't hear anything. I was in the car. I had the windows up. I think I may have had the radio on, but I never heard any noise.
And before you saw this banking, it seemed like an absolutely normal flight?
That's right. I'd say it was maybe 3 or 4 seconds between when I looked at it the first time and it was normal, and I looked back, and I think at that point the collision had already happened.
So once this happened, what did you do next?
Well, I was driving, so I had to keep driving. I couldn't look away from the road for more than a couple of seconds. So I kept driving, and then I looked back a third time, again, just a few seconds later, expecting to see a crash. From my perspective, it looked like the plane had just passed over the land. From seeing the reporting now and looking at the angle where I was, I think I had thought that it was going to land on the near runway, and it was right over land, but it was actually still out over water and going to a further runway. So I thought it was going to crash into land, and I thought I was going to be seeing flames or a fireball or something like that. But when I looked back, I couldn't see the plane anymore. I couldn't see sparks. I didn't see any fire or anything else. It had completely disappeared, and I didn't know what was going on.